we are dying out. I am the dinosaur gonna turn into oil. Dave is the future of the profession. And I think this is where we see that split of your Hinge and Sword and then your Dave Kittles.
How many people are in your Facebook group, the Medicare one?
A little over 10,000.
And how many people are subscribing to the YouTube channel?
Honestly, I don't remember. 20, 15,000. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a reason. It's because people, I feel like it's like they hate it. And then they're like, I'm either going to learn it really well or I'm going to get screwed by it. So I might as well understand. Dave, would you walk into a baseball game not understanding how the strike zone works? You can. You'd be like, well, I feel that wasn't a strike. And the umpire's like, well, that was clearly at your knees. And that is what we consider a strike. Tough. So understand what game that's all I hear. Understand really well what game you're playing. And if you didn't get that education in school, which I don't know, school's supposed to just teach you like sort of like the outline, like the basics, right? You have to understand this because this is how you get paid.
I know, but also that not to cry, but because I don't care because we don't bill Medicare in network, but all these insurances, Jimmy, as you know, like they haven't increased their.
Oh yeah, I don't know. That's
they're going to increase their payment, and so that's what people that are watching this are going to be yelling at you about.
Yeah, no, and I agree with everybody. My brain goes to: Are you telling me emotionally, or are you telling me logically? Because you're right emotionally. It's just not going to change it. You could be right emotionally. We could all agree. We could all get together with pitchforks and torches. They're not going to do anything about it. So either learn the rule or don't, or do what Dave does. Dave doesn't care anything about UHC. Dave's like, what? UHC? Is that a clothing brand? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because what was the impetus for you? Did you want to make more money, give better care? What was it? Why did you say, no, I'm doing it this way?
I mean, at first it was just people that wanted like side treatment out of like just at their home or my home or whatever. It was just people asked for it, and I just, it was like $100 a visit at the time. It was just like you grab a number out of the sky. You're like, yeah, I'm going to charge you $100 or whatever, and then it increased from there.
And they kept saying yes.
And they kept saying yes. And to segue a little bit, we have new candidates still saying yes. We have a new full-time therapist that signed a new offer letter on Saturday. They're going to start in about 6 weeks. I can't say their name because
how they find you.
Cold message on LinkedIn, baby. Also, I met this physical therapist like 10 or 11 years ago in person briefly.
Oh wow.
I don't think they remembered it. I can't go into it because it'll kind of give where I met them and all that and where they might be working full time now. But it was recently where my full time therapist Andrew, who you love with the Wolfhanger, in the past couple of weeks, he's been emailing me or texting me saying like that he's full, treating 22 to 27 patients a week because some of the patients are, a little bit more commutes and it's a little more home visits or whatever. So he's getting full. And as soon as he said that, I said, hey, cool. Like, that's awesome. What do you need from me? What type of help, whatever. And then also as a heads up, you might see me on LinkedIn because now you're saying this. So just as a heads up, you're going to see me on LinkedIn, which I've been doing the past couple of weeks. Posting online that we're hiring. And then also that means I go into the DMs and I DM about 50 to 100 cold physical therapists in the area. And then this one therapist, we went through the whole process, the interview, the phone screen, the Zoom interview, the in-person mock evaluation where they evaluate me, and they signed the offer letter on Saturday. And so now we will be bringing on new full-time physical therapist. Most likely Monday, June 8th is the start date that we had in the offer letter, about 6 weeks from right now.
And how many will that make your team total?
That would be 6, but a few of them are part-time or 1099 independent contractors. Yeah.
How cool is that though? They can do whatever they want. Like you're like, yeah, the juice is worth the squeeze to keep you on part-time because you make more than it costs me to pay you.
And in between right now, I'm having to piecemeal because like, I don't want to see that, new patients. So just yesterday, I also had a new therapist start with just one client. And I mean, she's as an independent contractor to see the new patient from yesterday because I don't have my next therapist ready to roll. And so that's the next challenge is going to be kind of like, how do I organize the hiring, the onboarding, the ramp up, and then, the hiring the next therapist. But then if you hire too soon, it crunches your cash flow. And if you hire too late, then I got to piecemeal it together with like these independent contractors that I kind of know, but they're working full time somewhere else. So I was telling my wife last night, like, it's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining. This is what I signed up for as a practice owner. So it's all good. But just wanted to mention that the offer is working. The offer, as in the $87,000 base salary, and you get bonused starting with your 15th visit per week. So maybe around Wednesday or Thursday or whatever, like depending on 4 to 6. And some days Andrew's seeing 7 or 8 patients a day, which is crazy. So by the 15th visit of every week, Monday through Sunday, you will get bonus. The therapist gets bonus on top of the base salary that you get every 2 weeks.
Could your therapist, if they were brought into a room with Tony or me, explain exactly how they get paid?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
That's the point. Like, they understand the game that they're playing. Like, Andrew could get to Wednesday and be like, you know what? I'm good. It's Thursday, and I'm going to screw off and go to a Met game. And Dave's like, all right, well, you hit your minimum, so you covered your costs for me for the week. But if the therapist is like, no, let's treat more because my patients need it and I want to make more money, they can do it. I mean, worked for Fox for a number of years. Fox clinicians knew exactly what their caseload, not Fox's caseload, their caseload looked like. And when a cancel came in, they were like, let me shift that around because I understand what game I'm playing. It was care first, but it was a business. So all of them could tell you exactly why their paycheck was their paycheck. That is imperative.
I think an interesting observation here that nobody brings up, as passionate as I am about what I do, let's compare these two scenarios. I was at 5 clinics. I'm down to 1.
Yeah.
Dave is growing. I'm consolidating. I have zero interest in hiring anyone. I have zero interest in continuity. As soon as my last person who's working for me decides to retire, I am done. I am out. So like, Dave has a growing, thriving business model. Doesn't matter how much I love what I do and promote it. We are dying out. I am the dinosaur gonna turn into oil. Dave is the future of the profession. And I think this is where we see that split of your Hinge and Sword and then your Dave Kittles. What I've been doing for 25 years is gone. It is going away. And that's totally fine. I think it needs to. I don't think it's a sustainable model.
So I know I pushed back on this a little bit before, Tony. So you're okay. Like, first of all, do you believe that your practice is an asset right now?
To me, it is. In the right hands of the right person, it is. But to the general therapist, no.
So why would you wind it down? I don't understand. Like, why wouldn't you, try to sell at some point? Like, get a couple therapists in there. I know you're not going to now. Obviously, like you're already unplugged, basically. Like, you're there, but you're winding down respectfully. So, but why? Like, why not have a couple therapists in there so that you could sell to one of the big corporates and make something instead of zero? You wind down, you close you lock the door, you turn the key, and you get zero. Like, why not get a little bit more than zero?
I don't know. That's a good question. It's not something that I really think about. Like, yes, the thought crossed my mind of selling now because the business is doing better than it's done in a long time. But then I'm like, is it really worth the effort? Like, the money that I would get, I mean, yes, it would be nice, but it wouldn't be like life-changing money. It's not going to. So I would use it as an example of, I drove my car for 15, 20 years. I could put the car on the market and sell it for a couple thousand, or I could just give it to my nephew because he doesn't have a car.
Right.
Like, I've extracted the value out of this framework. I've got the social media. I've got the other. I had a guy call yesterday. Quick story. Guy called yesterday. We get 2 or 3 calls like this a week. Usually they get screened out. They don't usually get to me. This one got to me because the person answering the phone thought that I knew this person. So I get on the phone. Hey, Tony, this is so-and-so. I'm in California. I watch all your videos. I love what you're doing. This is what's going on. This is my problem. I just need to know, do you have any kind of paid resources that I could buy or communities I could join? Like, is there any way I could just like pay? And he said specifically, pay $250 and get your course or whatever.
Wow.
I was like, no, I know I should, but I don't. It's not something I'm, focused on right now. I'm too busy with other stuff. But like, we get those calls constantly, and I shared with you guys the physical therapist, I don't remember her name right now, who started a cash-based practice, made $150,000 in the first year, then closed the practice because she was making $350,000 on social media. I just think if somebody came along who is a great candidate who could take this model and make it successful and for themselves, I'd sell it in a heartbeat. But I think most people don't want to do it. I think I am part of a dying culture. I feel good when I'm seeing 20, 30 people in a day. Other therapists want to see 20 people in a week. So if nobody wants it, there's no value to it to anybody else.
So I know we're short on time, but you're going back to what we were talking about earlier with the billing units.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was so good, like, wouldn't you have more profitability, more bandwidth to hire someone to do the hiring? Like, if you don't want to do the hiring, you hire, an ops person and they get 10% of the sale or whatever. If that billing approach was so profitable and as good as it sounds, I mean, it sounds unique, then wouldn't you have more, I don't know, therapist demand or buyer demand or like people like knocking your door down to take over your practice and buy you out or whatever? Like, I'm not trying to be combative. I know. About the billing.
100%. I tell other people about it. I show them the objective numbers. I show them the published policy. Like, we check all of the boxes that's like, yes, this totally makes sense. Nobody else wants to do it. And that's fine. They don't want to do it. I don't want to do what they're doing. So the same way I can't even get somebody else somewhere else to do it for themselves, I also can't find anybody in the local community who would want to come in and do it here. And I don't want to put the effort into trying to bring someone in, train them, be a mentor to them. I'm done with that kind of phase of life. I'm not interested. I'll share the information all day long. And if somebody wants to experiment and try it, they don't have to pay me anything. They can totally take it and do it themselves. But I just don't want to have to go through that dating scene again. It's like, if I was divorced, I'm not going to get on the apps. I'm done. I'm happy just being by myself and, living my own life.
I wonder if there was like a physical therapist out there that like didn't treat full time. They were great at communication. Maybe they saw this as an asset that they could like grow over time remotely. I don't know, from like another state, like from upstate New York or something. I don't know. Like, maybe that could be a fit. Who knows? This could go full circle, this whole podcast.
I think the most reasonable expectation would be a non-clinician who wants something to do, sees what it is, see what we're doing, and says, yeah, I could do that as a, secondary business. But either way, I mean, it is what it is. I've got other priorities to focus on. And so every minute that I try to do something with kind of this dying fish, I'm like, it stinks already. Why am I going to put more time and effort into it?
Your PTA, Jeremy, has never approached you to ask to take over or buy your practice?
We've talked about it, but it's not, I think, in his motivation. Yeah,
understanding the game you're playing. And the game changes when you change. The game change. What is valuable to you at 25 is vastly different than what's valuable to you at 45, right? I mean, it has to be. If it's not, you're doing it wrong.
I mean, I would love for it to be taken over. Justin Stiver took over the Florida, grew it huge. I mean, way more than we ever could have even imagined. So, like, it's doable. People have done it, but not the people we have right now.
And that's important, right? If you don't have the right people who care, that it's not location, where is it, and people. So if nobody values it, it's worth zero. If someone looks at it like a gold mine, it's worth whatever they're willing to pay for it.
also Eric Broadworth over in Grand Rapids, Michigan, he was talking to me a couple of months ago about trying to get in network with certain payers. Now, I'm not saying he would want your practice, but he was looking to, he asked me about like, hey, what if we try to buy some in-network practices nearby as a way to like, if fuel PT and wellness or health and wellness is practice, if they cannot convert people to self-pay at fuel, then they could segue those people and still keep the patient within like the holdco or like the two different like practices, and the two practices could maybe share resources, or they could share referrals or whatever it might be. So have you thought about, Tony, any cash practice owners in the Ohio area to partner or buy your practice because of the contracts, the referrals, the past patient list? They could maybe convert some of those previous patients to one-on-one self-pay. And if not, they would have a place to segue those leads when they call in and they're like, I want to only use my Medicare or my Blue Cross Blue Shield in network or whatever. And then they would have a place for those people, as opposed to what we do, which is we refer them out, or they don't convert and they go and, they find a practice elsewhere and we have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that was the biggest value proposition to Justin in Florida, was we had contracts that he couldn't get starting a new business. So not only did he have the history, did he have the 15, 20,000 past patients in the database, he also was buying into those contracts that had been closed for decades. Here, in regards to cash therapists that are looking to expand, I know a couple cash therapists, they're not interested in expanding. Your guys are full at 20 visits, 25 visits. Like, they're making great money. Why would you want to take on a liability? If I'm looking at US physical therapy as a business model versus Hinge as a business model, no way am I going to take on US physical therapy. This would have to be a kind of, I'm willing to take less money for more work because I'm passionate about being in that kind of environment, then I'm looking for a great business investment.
Oh, so Eric Broadworth at Fuel PT was saying if he took some of the in-network insurances, but then they upsell the cash pay services that are not covered, right? Dry needling, they do the red light therapy, they do stretching with non-licensed providers. I'm trying to think what else they do, but they do a bunch of stuff like modalities that are not covered anyway, right? So it'd be like they would bill the Blue Cross Blue Shield, and then they would be like, hey, it's $30 extra, 40, 50, whatever for dry needling or whatever they charge. And the red light therapy, they do red light therapy for chronic pain. They also do it for weight loss. So it's like they would increase the revenue per visit. Some of it would come from Blue Cross Blue Shield or the insurance or whatever, and some would come out of pocket from the patient. That was his thought.
And I think that's the perfect model. Like, if that person was around here, wanted to start a family, wanted to, grow roots in this area, 100%. Like, you've got 7 to 12 new patients coming through the door every week. There's no marketing expenses. You've got history. And it's not that they're coming to see me. They're just coming because we've established the building as the place to go to physical therapy. All of that stuff is 100% true. You're just looking for a very specific buyer. How many Erics are out there? How many Erics, and I'm not even like a crazy owner, because there's thousands of clinics just like me all across the country. Old guys like me that are kind of done with it, that are ready to step aside. We've cut down as much as we can possibly cut down. And I wouldn't even be like, my practice is worth $5 million. No, like, take my net profit, multiply it by 3. I would be happy with that. All right, guys, I got to let you go. Great conversation. We will catch up on the next episode.
The boys are back in town.
Back in town. You want to do parting shots? We don't have enough time to start something new.
Yeah, the parting shot for me is around trying to think differently.
Have to.
Sometimes with this, you kind of pointed it out, where like Tony and I have like fairly drastically different business models, and like we're both offering physical therapy, which is hilarious. Like, we're both offering treatment.
You're Burger King and Ruth's Chris, which is, here's the best part. I like both of them at different times. When I'm on the New Jersey Turnpike trying to get home and I'm like, need food now, I'm okay with going to Burger King. And I know people don't like those comparisons, but we bring them up as like, I need you to solve my problem. And then I decide what I'm going to invest in solving that problem. It just is.
Well, and the thing for me, again, I'm biased, of course, but the difference in how you can pay those different team members.
Yes.
The difference between what Burger King and McDonald's can pay their team members, which McDonald's and Burger King, it's like an entry-level job, respectfully, like your first summer job, right? For the most part.
Yes and no. Because what did you see? There was like a little conversation, and it's funny to watch patterns. Somebody put up a sign a few months ago. It was the sign from Buc-ee's where it's like general manager of a Buc-ee's starts out at $1.25. This one was like
you share that, yeah.
General manager of a McDonald's starting out at 96, and people are like, that's ridiculous. I went on to New York City Department of Labor and said, what's the salary 5 years into being someone in the Department of Sanitation? And it was close to $100,000. Well, that job stinks. Not to a guy who wants to make that money and be home by noon. Like, they have a great schedule. So like, it sucks to you. It sucks. My best friend is a middle school history teacher. He's come to radio stations when I used to work there and was like, you could not pay me enough to turn a microphone on 50 times a day and talk to people. He's like, I was petrified in the room with you and I wasn't even on the microphone. To me, it was all wrong. But you have to decide what's good for you, and you hold that belief so deep in your heart that this is good and that is bad. Understand that is only to you and to people who are like you. There are other people that the thing that you do imagine I said, I'll pay you $2 million a year, but you got to get in the water with crocodiles and you got to do an anaconda show. Sorry, not happening. Doesn't matter that it's $2 million. I'm not going to learn to get over it. But for some people, they'd go out of their way to do that. And that is a strength, not a weakness.
Real quick, can you put up the David Rubin comment from earlier? Because I didn't catch it before you do your parting shot. Oh, University of Dayton is 30 minutes away. Turnkey clinic ownership for new grad. Exactly. I thought he said something about that.
Yes. He's got to find the right student who's like, I want to stay here locationally. This is the model.
Yeah, but he doesn't care. But Tony's already checked out. That's the crazy thing. Is like, it takes a little effort to do that, and then all of a sudden, now Tony could walk away with $300K, $600K, $900K, whatever it is, to walk away from his practice, and the new grad that has student loan debt can take out an SBA loan and have double debt, but now they have a cash flowing practice, a cash flowing business to pay down the debt of the SBA loan and pay off their monthly payments to their student loans at the same time.
Don't disagree. Tony is also like, I don't know. Tony's unique because he's like, no. He's like, it's going to require this much effort. I want to put in this much effort. So no. Like, I get it. We're also a different part. Tony's a little older. I don't know if it's his age or just the fact that like life's a bunch of cycles.
He's going through everything already. He's bought real estate. He's tinkered. He's had different businesses. So I get it.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I do disagree.
Yeah.
Why would you walk away from an asset that you could sell? You put a little effort in. His wife is there to help him and support him. She's worked in the front desk and she's a PT as well. Like,
I think that's a deadly combo, is when you and your partner can work together. Like, that to me feels like a secret cheat code, unfair advantage. If you have the right personalities to do that, that feels deadly. If you're both working on the same thing, that feels like a multiplier.
I mean, if Tony wanted to, he could speak to me. I mean, he could speak to all because I know the SBA loan brokers, but there's a ton near him, and like anywhere in the country you can work with them. So Tony, it would take extra effort, but if he wanted to, he could get a whole bunch of these SBA loan brokers. They're all like, they want to feed on it because they get bonus, they get paid out. So they're always hunting and asking other people like me, like, hey, we had this loan go through, we had this go through. Like, do you need any help or whatever? Like, he could help a new grad do the whole SBA 7A loan program. He could help a new grad, or he could use ChatGPT or his wife or whoever, like, to help them with the application. Then Tony gets this lump sum from the loan, and then he walks away. And then this new PT, the new grad, can take over his practice with minimal, like 10% out of pocket, or you get the 10% from your family or whatever. But like, 10% down to buy, I don't know, his practice, 500K, $1 million, like whatever.
Is that how loan people work? Like they have to go find the people to like that's their gig. They either wait for one to come in or they go hunt for people to give loans to.
Yes, because they basically either them or through their bank or whatever, like they then sell that loan to some other buyer, right? And then they get bonus off that on the back end. You don't even see it.
Wow, I don't see it.
So I don't have to pay. I've had them. I've interviewed them on my show before. We don't have to pay them. There's some closing costs, but they don't get the closing costs. There's closing costs like through the SBA that you have to pay. The SBA is, backed by the government. So there's some closing costs. You got to pay for your attorney fees or whatever. But the loan broker person that helps you with the application, walks you through the whole process, you don't have to pay them because they get paid when they sell your loan to some other buyer and you have no idea that's going on in the background.
Understood. Okay. My parting shot would be, I've used this before, is choose your hard. Like, which of these two models are better? Tony's, Dave's, or any of the other clinics that we mentioned. The one that's right for you. Like, you trying to pick the best one that's right for someone else, that's dangerous, man. Because once the pick and the joy and the ink is dry is over, you got to go work every day. And if you hate it, it's life is short, but it's also a long time if you hate it. I don't know.
I want to find him a young buyer that he can. I get nothing out of it, but Tony can walk away and not have to just turn in the key and close the place. Like one Friday they're open, and then Friday evening they lock the door and like they never see another patient ever again. That is, I can't even like it doesn't even make sense to me. Like why you would ever do that?
Yeah, but business is closed every day. Paul is channeling his inner Tony, saying Tony would say if the person isn't motivated to fill out the paperwork,
that's true.
They're not going to be motivated enough to run the practice. Because again, that's sort of what I just said, which is like, dude, buying a practice. Larry Benz is talking all about this.
Great point, Paul.
You would like Larry Benz's podcast because what he's doing is he's showing people a trap that happens over and over again in public, and then he goes backwards about 6-9 months and goes, that's what happened. So like that's the thing is like it's fun to, Larry says it's like fun to buy things, and that's how you can if you're a large footprinted practice, you can look valuable, you can look stronger on paper because look, as Larry says, we got pins on the map. Yeah, but if 6 out of your 9 pins in the map aren't healthy, and 3 are propping up the other 6, that's not healthy. So why are you expanding? You're talking about cash flow and all that. Those are the things to pay attention to because those are like the pulse or the heart rate or the blood pressure of a business, not number of locations. All right. So choose your host.
Can I have an intro to Larry Benz so I can get him on my show?
Yeah.
I've never emailed with him.
Don't threaten Larry with a good time because if you're going to talk practices, because he's not even in PT right now. I mean, he's still got his toes and his fingers everywhere because he's Larry 4 decades, but he's in dental now. That's where like when we start talking dental, I hear this from Larry Benz and go, oh yeah, like you're providing like don't overcomplicate it. And people will even look at Larry and be like, you're taking the heart out of what we deliver. No. He's the first to say, pay your people really well because that's all you are. That's all you are. You're not equipment. You're not overhead. Your clinic can be at Denny's in 6 weeks. It's not location. It's not equipment. You can buy that. He's the first person to say all you are is a company that employs people to do good. Now you got to work backwards and figure out what's the model. So he does. He looks at that hygienist dentist model and goes, they seem to be doing pretty well. Like, what's the average salary of a dentist, right? Are we selling something different? Absolutely. But you can learn from how they deliver it because you're delivering services, different services. So everything that Tony just said, a dentist would go, well, yeah, duh. But we look at it as a profession-wide. 98% of our profession would be like, that's insane. Well, it's always insane until it works really well and then spreads. That's just how it works. So yeah, I'll introduce you to Larry. Larry would love you because you just want to talk business.
Right on.
All right. Back on Thursday. What do we want to talk about on Thursday? Anything good? It'll come to us.
One thing is I want to I want to review how this new video is performing, the one where I'm driving and my wife is filming, and I was just talking PT
There's
business.
something weird about when people are talking in their cars while they're driving, but also in their cars when they're not. That's a thing that's been going on for
I posted both. But the first time yesterday or the other day, like just posted me driving in New York City, and I have a bunch of videos, and I look forward to posting those and seeing how they perform.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE@CONCIERGE painrelief.com, or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.